What's up, YouTube land? Xeno Gaming back here for more league racing, and here today we have rounds, I guess 2 and 3. I'm not really too sure. Maybe 3 and 4. It's China and Zandvoort. So that's what we got here today, and I'm in the Red Bull. Back at it for the regional rounds, so just the Oceania region, and I was kicked out of the session. Unfortunately, I was able to load back in, and my first flying lap, as you saw at the very start, was invalidated. So now we've got 9 minutes left in the session, and we don't have a time on the board. So we probably only have maybe 2 laps in this if we're fast enough. So that's we're starting qualifying off right off on the back foot, and it's not ideal. And I just had to make sure everything was all right and get the stuff right here. But we're going to be leaving the pits with now less than 9 minutes to go, so getting 2 runs in is probably unlikely. But here's the first run, and this is the lap that this needs to be a really good lap. And we come into turn 176. This is such a long, painful corner. You're just going down the gears and getting it tucked into the apex. And now turn 3 and 4 here, just be smooth on the power. Don't want to lose the rear end. And now coming down through 5 and 6. This is a very interesting braking zone. Very difficult not to lock up the front right. We get it stop well there, 3rd gear, and get good power down. Really nice traction there. And now coming through the sweeping left of 7 and 8. This is probably the best part of the circuit, these next combination of corner 7 8, and getting back into 9 and 10 now. And the double left-hander, I actually don't mind this corner. Use a little bit outside curve, getting on the throttle as early as we can. We got really good traction out of there as well. And now coming into turn 11, 12 and 13. This is a tricky corner, and it's very important, the most important corner on this track, because the exit here dictates how your run is all the way down to turn 14. And we get a really good run this time out. Don't drift too wide and invalidate your lap there, as we now flick open the DRS heading into the braking zone. This is a 1 kilometer straight, one of the longest on the calendar. And now just around the 100-meter board, back down to 2nd gear here, and missed the apex a little bit deep into the corner, but didn't cost us too much time, I don't think, as we now come here into the last corner, and a little bit cautious, but still a really good lap there. And that's a fantastic lap to put us in 3rd place there. We're not too far. It was 1:30.0, and I went into the pits, put on another set of tyres, and I missed out on the line. But there's actually a glitch on the Codemaster game here on F1 2020 where I can finish my lap, but I tried to do a lap, but I wasn't faster and I invalidated. So that is what it is. When I line up 4th on the grid, I think that's the maximum we probably could have done today. I think that was a really good lap. It was really tidy. It was no mistakes, and it's a really good qualifying position here. Obviously, you have the top 3. Mackenzie, Andrew and Josh, who are just all really quick at this game. They're very hard to beat, so we'll do our best here. And now, without further ado, we'll get into this race. So lining up here 4th on the grid. I think the strategy, like I said for my national video, it is a pretty simple soft to hard if everything goes according to plan. Obviously I didn't have a good race then. This is now going to be lights out and away we go here for Chinese Grand Prix. And I didn't make the best start here, and I'm actually got my teammate alongside me here into turn 1. Actually, no, not my teammate, sorry, that wasn't Alpha Tauri. I had a blinder there. I'm thinking of teammate because I race Alpha Tauri in the other series, but I'm in the Red Bull here. Anyway, the top 3 scrapping it out here, and we're just in behind here in 4th, and we've been able to hold on to that position despite the poor start, as Andrew goes up the inside of Josh and he runs him a little bit wide. Mackenzie follows through, so Josh has lost 2 places there, and Andrew felt like that was an unfair move, so on the next straight he's going to have to let Mackenzie and Josh back through. Just really fair driving from him is really fair, and he lets him back through. And I saw an opportunity here, but he kind of got just a little bit squeezed onto the curb. I don't think he would have expected me to do that. And then Finn stuck his nose in there on the apex of the corner, so now I haven't got a great run onto this long straight, and Finn's right in my slipstream, and before I can even make a defensive move, he's already alongside me. So he had a really great run out, and now he's going to go defensive. And I'm going to try and outbreak him, go around the outside here in the hairpin of 14, and he kind of just doesn't leave me any space in the exit. And now we're going to defend here from March in the Alpha Tower, and we're able to hold on to 5th place. So interesting opening lap here, and we now move on to lap 3. We're following Finn here, and I'm just going to say this is my first race on the new rim. That's why my start was so poor. Just the comfort, I wasn't as comfortable with it, but this is also I did this race before the regional race, just for reference, the national race, sorry, as we go down the inside here. Very late braking maneuver, and we get it done really well timed there, and it was really late on the brakes, but we're able to get the car stopped, and then the game pauses for whatever reason. It might have been me, just I think not used to the rim and where the buttons are on the steering wheel, so it just takes a bit of an adjustment, 3 laps in, and plus a couple of qualifying laps. I didn't really do any practice beforehand with it, as now Finn got back past us with the DRS, and we just slammed down the inside on the brakes, really aggressive. I didn't want to give up that position because we worked so hard for it in turn 6, and then he just does the easy DRS pass, so we fight back. We use all the space here in the exit of the last corner, and now he's going to have a great run once again down the main straight, so we're going to defend to the inside here. I don't want him to get past because I know I'm quicker than him at this point in the race. We're just battling, and I'm losing so much time to the guys at the front, and I wasn't that far off him in qualifying, so I thought I have a chance potentially for a podium if I can just keep it clean, but we're just all this scrapping just isn't helping. So we now move on here to lap 4, well, same lap, and Finn actually has a spin, so that releases the pressure off my rear. And now next lap here into turn 1, and I almost got off the track actually, but a virtual safety car is deployed, so that's interesting. And then coming here, end of lap 5, and I'm coming into the pit lane. We're going to put on a set of hard tyres. Mackenzie actually pitted the previous lap for his hard tyres, so he went 1 lap earlier than us. He went for an undercut, but he's well and truly ahead of me. Josh responded, and he actually put on the medium tyre, and then I had a bit of a poor pit lane exit, and then got held up by the McLarens, and Harry actually had a drive-through penalty from that virtual safety car. That's why I threw that in there. Some drivers picked up some penalties, and that kind of cost me a little bit of time on exit here. And now coming out of the pits, we've lost a lot of time in terms of just in the pit lane there, and we've actually been jumped by March, which isn't helpful. But yeah, we're now a long way behind and moving here, and Harry is the next on the list. He obviously is still on those really bad soft tyres. Soft tyres do not work well around here. They do not last long, and we're going to have an easy DRS overtake. Actually had to work for it a little bit on the brakes, but he's not going to fight us too hard there. He's coming straight back into the pits for a tyre change. A few more drivers into the pits. We're now in 6th place, but now a safety car has been deployed. So a safety car, and we March ended up pitting because he was on the medium tyre, so he ended up pitting again, I think. But the top 4 is now here. So we have Mackenzie first, Josh second, Andrew in 3rd, and myself in 4th. And Josh and Andrew on the medium tyre, Mackenzie and myself on the hard tyre. So that's the battle for the front, almost running into the back of Andrew there. Kind of a bit lucky there not to break off the front wing. We've got my teammate behind also on the hard tyre, so it's going to be an interesting. We completely miss the apex of the last corner, so that's a poor restart. And now we get back to green flag racing here on the start of lap 10, and we've already dropped a huge amount of time to the guys in front with that poor restart, but Andrew's already looking to get involved and get away and find a way past Josh, but he wasn't able to. And Josh and Andrew know at this stage I thought they were 2-stopping, so they were very desperate obviously to get ahead of Mackenzie to build up a bit of a gap, because at this point I honestly thought they were 2-stopping, so I really thought I was a chance at 2nd place at this stage of the Grand Prix, as now they've both found their way past Mackenzie. We're going to follow Mackenzie. We're going to move here to lap 14, and we're still right behind Mackenzie, and we've done really well to actually keep up with him here, and DRS has obviously helped us. And here on this lap, he catches a bit of DRS off the Mercedes ahead, I believe, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's I wasn't paying attention. I don't open DRS, and I actually lose a lot of time in the straight. He got a great run at the Mercedes here, and then kind of I got a bit put off here at this corner, and I lost a bit of time, got the traction, and now I've lost DRS to Mackenzie ahead, and you know, I pick up a warning there as well for exceeding the track limits. It kind of all wasn't a great lap for me there, and we lose a lot of time. And now moving here to end of lap 15, and then we go that little bit wide again. This time it's going to be 3 seconds added to our race time, so that's not ideal. And lap 23 now, and I've kind of stayed at the same gap. I'm actually kind of I kind of dropped off to about 2.5 seconds to Mackenzie, but now I'm starting to come back at him a little bit. I'm having a good last few laps in this Grand Prix. I set my best lap on the previous lap, and now we're going to come through that final corner. We're going to go wide and pick up another 3 seconds. You can see how hard we're pushing that. It's just that last corner where I'm picking up all my warnings. Just that it's very easy to do. But we're going to move here to lap 27. Mackenzie's gotten past Josh. Josh and Andrew have actually done the one stop here, and they've tried to take the medium tyre to the end of the race. And you can see Josh's tyres here have just fallen absolutely off the cliff. I've got 6 seconds worth of penalties, but Josh also has penalties. So this is actually a battle on the track, and Josh, he does defend to the inside, but I'm going to go to the inside. He leaves the space, and we're alongside by the time we hit the braking zone, and I'm able to outbrake him with the better tyre and move past into 3rd place here to be on the podium with 1 lap to go. And I run a little bit deep into the last corner, so now I don't have a lot of ERS to play with, and Mackenzie probably is just a little bit out of reach here because I don't have that DRS. So I'm going to push really hard for it, but it's going to be very tricky. Andrew out front he's taken his medium tyres all the way to the end of this Grand Prix to win here in China. Mackenzie finishes in 2nd, and we ourselves take home our first podium in 3rd place. So that was a really good performance. That's the most consistent race and drive I've put together all season, so really happy about that. Josh finishes in 4th place, and my teammate Mish finishes in 5th. Had a very lonely race, so really happy with that performance, and to be fighting with the big boys. It was very sweaty race. It was very tough, and I'm leaving this little screen here because I actually don't have the results from the race. I must have skipped over it. So this is pretty much the rundown of the Grand Prix results. But now we're going to move over to Zandvoort and get into that Grand Prix. And I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable straight away here in Zandvoort, and my pace wasn't very good. You can see we're in 6th place here, and this is our last lap and last chance in qualifying. So yeah, didn't feel very comfortable, and it is what it is. So you gotta also with because I'm posting this video after the national video, but all the regional races happened before. So this happened before my national race at Zandvoort. So that's kind of the difference. Like the China race was the first to happen before my China race at nationals. So I'm just trying to put a bit of perspective into that. But now we open the DRS a bit late there, but we're a little bit down. It's very close with our time. We don't have the best middle sector, but now we're going to have to try and put it together in the last sector. Take that curb really nicely. Actually, the car was really settled over that bump. It didn't throw us too wide, and we gained a lot of time through there. And now we've got almost binned it there, but we're still up just about, and we're going to get the run to the line here. Can we improve our position? But we've barely improved our time. It's like we improved our time by 10,000ths of a second, so we don't improve position. We actually end up dropping to 7th place on the grid, so disappointing qualifying there. Andrew takes pole, surprise, and we're gonna on a race track that's very difficult to overtake. We're gonna have a tough time, I think, from 7th on the grid, but we'll get into it now and see what we can do here. We got Finn here ahead of us in 6th, and Maka, who hasn't had the best qualifying, as we got the 5 red lights, and it's go here in China, in Zandvoort, and we don't get the best start here, but now I've got a good second phase of it. Actually, I'm going to try and go all the way around the outside of Finn, and he's kind of into us a little bit there, and I probably went a little bit too wide, and we're going to try and hold it here, but we're not able to, and Finn gets back to position, so we hold 7th here for now, and we'll see what we can do here. Harry had a really good qualifying. He had some good pace here around this track, but now coming into this sweeping right-hander, and we've pulled a huge gap to the cars behind. No, actually Hamish is behind. I can only see the yellow dot and just looks like a huge gap, but Hamish is behind us, and Jordan is in there as well. So we're gonna have a little look up the inside. You can do it, but really you got to really be alongside, unless the driver leaves you the room. It's a tough corner, that one, to get up the inside. Is turn 10, and now this is a little interesting chicane. I actually don't mind this track. The more I drive it, the more I seem to enjoy it. It's fast. It's got some really good corners. I love this banked corner here. It's a nothing corner in the dry, but in the wet, it's just so incredible. You're pushing the limits with that outside wall. So first lap complete here. We hold on to 7th place. Nothing really doing. And Harry is actually, he made a little mistake. Finn got past him, but now Harry's attacking him here, and he's gonna get past back with the DRS on. This is lap now 5 in this Grand Prix. Harry locks up there, but it looks like he's going to get the move done into turn 1, and he does. So we're now following Finn here, same lap, and he makes a little mistake here, runs onto the curb, and now we're going to have the opportunity to go down the inside, and we're not able to get past just yet. He's going to have the inside for turn 10. We're going to try and drive all the way around the outside. That's definitely not going to work. But we're going to get a good run off the corner here, open the DRS, and now we're getting a really good run in the slipstream, and I disabled the wrong thing there, but now we're down the inside. We're not quite alongside though, so that's not going to work for us, and we're trying to get the switch back here. But now it looks like we're going to try and attack and set this up for a move on the main straight with the DRS. So coming through the banked corner, turn 14, and we're right in his slipstream here. Open the DRS, he goes very aggressively, and we're trying to follow. We actually pick up a exceeded track limits warning. I tried to go down the inside, but there wasn't a gap there. That was silly by me to try to go down there. That could have been a nasty accident. I should have tried to sweep to the outside. So Finn got really aggressive there on the defence. He didn't do that with Harry, but now we've got a yellow flag, and there's a safety car being deployed. And there's Mackenzie. He's crashed here out of turn 4, a really tricky braking zone. So that's disaster for Mackenzie. Safety car deployed, and I think we're going to see everybody file into the pit lane here and put on the... I'm going to put on the hard tyre personally, and here I am now coming into the pit lane, hard tyres going on, and I get held a little bit in the pits there by the Renault, but all is good, and we're going to come back out, and we're actually going to be in 7th place, so somebody ahead decided to not pit, I guess, and so we're going to be rejoining in 7th, or was I just in 7th anyway? No, I was in 7th anyway, so I don't know what I'm talking about there. Everyone that has pitted, so my bad. But anyway, here's an interesting little thing on the... This is the safety car's coming in this lap, so... But this is a real sequence of unfortunate events here. Harry ahead spins, which by himself he loses it. Finn and I go either side of him and avoid him. So that was lucky that we don't have a accident there. But then coming around here, and I'm focusing on trying to get temperature into my tyres, and this is where my brain fade happens. So I'm focusing getting temperature in, and I'm trying to slam on the brakes, get the fronts up the temperature, the rears by slamming on the throttle here, and then I go again here, and I just crash right into the back of Finn. Yeah, total brain fade. I lost concentration for a second, and tyres still aren't up to great temperature, but now I haven't got a front wing, and now I'm going to have to come into the pit lane. I just confirmed the change. I don't even think about what tyres they're going to put me on. If I had a choice, I would have went on mediums, but unfortunately I just wasn't thinking about it. So I'm going to come straight in, and we're going to serve a 5-second stop go as well. So salt added to the wound with that accident, but that's really just poor form from me here. And yeah, it's kind of just been that way with me in league racing this year. Just something always seems to happen to just... I didn't have great pace around this track, but I was actually feeling quite good in 7th place, and potentially attacking Finn before the safety car. Safety car happens, and then I just had to keep my nose clean there, and I probably could have been on for a top 5. So I feel like I was faster than Finn. But here on lap 11, we have a virtual safety car deployed, so I don't think nothing of it. There's not much I can do about it. I'm hoping here I need a safety car to get myself back in this race. So I was a little bit disappointed it wasn't a full safety car, so that's unfortunate. Lap 13 now, and another virtual safety car is deployed. So once again, just a little bit more frustrating. You know, I need a full safety car here to really have a chance of scoring good points right now. We're running in 9th. Not a lot of... And I also pick up a 3-second penalty there. Don't even know how I cut that, but I have. And coming here, lap 14 now, sweeping through. And yeah, I need a bit of luck to get back in with it. Not a lot of people racing in it, and that's why I'm still able to be in 9th place. And we have another virtual safety car, so there's 3 virtual safety cars now being deployed within the space of 3 laps. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if people are retiring. Well, there is a retirement there actually by the looks of it, but it's just incredible. Now we're here on lap 15, and we've got Harry in behind us, so he actually made a call to dive into the pits for medium tyres during one of the safety cars, and there's another one. There's 4 virtual safety cars in the space of 4 laps, so that's absolutely ridiculous. And no full safety car, really frustrating. My teammate now goes into the pits, but we're going to be running somehow in 7th place here, where we were eventually, but it's actually 6th place now. Harry, though, however, behind, much faster, much better tyres. My tyres are pretty dead at this point. Been on for about 8-9 laps, and the soft tyres, they go about 10 laps here, and then you got to think about pitting. So yeah, actually a really good battle here with Harry, and I end up just giving it up there. So he gets past us for 6th place, so I didn't fight it too hard. I'm now just going to try and stick with him. And we were able to stick with him for a few laps, but then eventually my tyres really dropped off here. I stretched them to lap 24 so I could go back on another set of softs, which was really tricky to do. But now we are able to go back onto a set of softs. So I kind of just tried to make the best of not being on those soft tyres, and I thought doing a double soft stint would really help. But now we got 12 laps, and these tyres can go 12 laps pushing as hard as we can, I think. So yeah, here we go, setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix here on lap 27. You can see the gap to my teammate ahead, and I'm pulling in a few seconds per lap here. So at this point I'm thinking 7th place isn't over and out for us yet. And you can see lap 32, and he's just there, so we're pushing hard. And there's actually a few more. There's Brett and Finn as well up ahead as well, so we're closing on these guys rapidly at the end of this Grand Prix. So we got some really good pace at the end on these really much better tyres. And as we sweep through now here through turn 14, there's going to be 4 laps to go. Well, this is going to be a yellow flag. It's going to come out now as I come into turn 1 steam, and there's an accident with my teammate, and Finn's around, and well, he's backed into us there. I had nowhere to go but off the track, because Mish was on the inside, he was on the outside, so I was going to go off the track just to avoid it, and unfortunately he's backed into us. But yeah, a bit of an unfortunate circumstance there, and we're just going to have to get on with it. We move into 7th place, and now we're chasing our teammate Mish, and he had damage from that turn 1 incident, and I didn't realise how much more pace I had, and that was so now I have probably the same damage as him, but I have a lot better tyre still, and he just ends up making another mistake there. I slipped past him, but I have penalties from just exceeding track limits throughout the course of this Grand Prix, so that's a shame. And we move into 6th place here with a couple laps to go, but I didn't pull away from him enough to beat him in this Grand Prix, so it's going to be 7th place here today for the Grand Prix, at the Dutch Grand Prix. And Andrew won. He almost slapped me. That's how far behind I was in terms of just having to make extra pit stops, and yeah, not a good race. And now here's the driver's standings. This is actually from before the Dutch Grand Prix, so this is from the results after China. So I am on, with that 7th place finish, I'm on 29 points here. So anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more content, and until the next video, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.